Hiawatha Bray here, doing something I don't usually do, wearing a watch. Actually, two of them. Yeah, it's time for me to dive back into the wonderful world of smartwatches. And you may remember I wasn't overwhelmingly impressed last year when I tried out the Samsung Galaxy Gear smartwatch. Well, Samsung's back with a whole raft of new Gear devices. And I gotta say, I'm a little more favorably impressed. I'm still not a big fan, but I think they're heading in the right direction. I only have two wrists, so of the three new models they brought out, I really only spent time with two of them. This one here is called the Gear 2 Neo. This one is called the Gear Fit. Now, the top of the line model, the Gear 2, I don't have here. It's about $300, and I figured that's kind of insane on the price end, so I'd stick with the two that are $200 each and come up with something a little closer to what most of us might be willing to spend. I think that was a good move, because the only difference between this one, the Gear Neo, and the $300 model is that this one doesn't contain a camera. In addition, this version is thinner, lighter. It's still a little bit of a chunk, but it's not bad. It doesn't feel like you got a Rubik's Cube strapped to your wrist. One of the things that both of these devices now have is a heart rate monitor. It can automatically track how fast your heart's beating, which is kind of handy. And of course, they have a bunch of fitness software as well. This one also lets you talk to your phone. It's like the old Dick Tracy concept. You can hear voice phone calls coming through the watch, and you can actually speak into it. It also lets you check your appointments. To me, that was one of the most useful features of it. Whenever an appointment's on your calendar, it actually vibrates your wrist, a rather pleasant little vibrating feeling, and you get the appointment popping up on the screen. I actually like that. You also get announcements of incoming text messages and emails. The email part isn't that useful because you cannot read an entire email on this screen. You have to pull out the phone to see it. But at least you know messages are coming in. I'm still not overwhelmed with the Gear 2 Neo. I can easily get through life without it. But it's much lighter and thinner. It works reasonably well. And at $200, it's starting to get into a reasonable price range. Now let's look at the other one for a second. I'm going to take this one off so you can see it better. This is the Gear Fit. It's $200 as well. It doesn't have the voice features like being able to make phone calls that you find on the Gear 2 Neo. But I really like this device. They figured out how to build a little curve into the screen on the Gear Fit, and here it's really useful because it lets you wrap it comfortably around your wrist. It's got a heart rate monitor. It allows you to see incoming email and message notifications, and it has all kinds of fitness monitoring equipment inside that allows you to transmit how far you walked or jogged or what your heart rate is, automatically feeding that to your smartphone. By the way, both these devices do require that you own a Samsung smartphone, so there's always that limitation as well. However, I've got to say, they're bringing the prices down, they're making them lighter and sleeker. I'm beginning to think that this smartwatch thing may have more to it than I originally believed. My first attitude toward it was, who needs it? But considering that millions of Americans already spend, oh, say around $100 or so for a good watch, if they can get the price down a little bit lower, I think Samsung could really surprise us all and sell a lot of these, especially the Gear Fit. From the Tech Lab, this is Hiawatha Bray.